Say the prayer for the believer. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee, thou art women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Saint Therese stands. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. We continue this catechism about the duties of marriage life. Actually, I don't give you a new paper today because we just continue the same lesson than last time. Actually, when we speak about the duties of the marriage, we speak about what we call in philosophy the final end, the goal. What is the final cause? Why do we have a marriage? Why do we have this institution? We have this institution for giving children to God. This is the end of the sacrament of marriage. Because to have children, we don't need a sacrament for the natural goal of marriage. But the spiritual goal is to give children to God, to make them children of God forever. This is now what is the spiritual goal of marriage, the final end. Of course, the sacrament of marriage is not something by its own different of the natural marriage. It's the same natural marriage, but with all the ends of a natural marriage, but now reaching at a higher level. And we consider and we want to contemplate this goal of a Christian marriage being now to go to heaven, to have this family together, united in God, and forever in heaven. But first of all, before even to be a spiritual marriage, to be a sacrament, it has to be a marriage. And this marriage, a natural marriage. This institution of marriage has been created since the beginning of the world by God Himself in order to organize the coming of the new children, to organize the procreation and to give a safe home, a safe environment for the children. The goal is to have children, to have the children God wants you to have, to receive them from God, and to give them to God. This is the goal. And because we have this finality, we need some condition for this marriage to be a good marriage. We have said it needs to be stable. Now we cannot have a divorce. We cannot change of parents during life, you know. We have the same parents from the morning to the evening of our life. We cannot change of parents. It means our parents should stay together. We need this unicity of marriage also. Unicity is one man and with one woman, and to take care properly. This is why polygamy, we know, is going against the good of the children, you know, because when you have a so large family that even the father cannot know and remember the name of his children. Now how can he take care of each one for his education? And also these different duties we have of supporting each other, because it's also now a common life, and this common life has to be a peaceful life where we have order and to have order, we need justice. It means everybody has to do his duty, to follow his own duties. And actually, now if we speak of marriage as a sacrament, we know that the goal of the sacrament is also the personal sanctification, how to become saints, to become holy. And for that, it's a work of sanctification. And we know that this work of sanctification is made through a special process, through what we call the duty of states. When we do what is our duty, what is our call, our vocation, and all of us, we know that we have a line of sanctification that is according to our own vocation. Some are called to priesthood, and they will sanctify as a priest. Some are called to religious life, they will sanctify in the religious life. The ones who are called for marriage, they will sanctify through the marriage life. It means it's becoming, because of the sacrament, a way of sanctification. And we know that a specific way is through the practice of the virtue of charity. You give your life for the happiness, for the sake of other people. You don't live a selfish life for you, but you are going to dedicate your life, to sacrifice your life, to live for something greater than you, and this thing is now your family. All of us, we need to give our life. Not only the priests, not only the religious, the sister or the brother, but even the Christians who want to have a family, they have also to give their life, to sacrifice their life for something greater. This is now the basics of marriage. What can establish now a strong Catholic family? If you establish this family on these basics, you will do something greater than you, something strong, something that can stay and continue your life through your children. For that, I just want also to remind something else that is very important. It's that we don't have a right to be happy. I think many people, they end to separate from their wife or husband because they were expecting to be happy in this world. They were expecting to find a natural happiness. And actually, this is the promise of the world, the promise of the spirit of the world, of the prince of the world, is to promise you happiness. Of course, all of us, we aspire to happiness, we want to be happy, and when you marry, you expect to be happy, you imagine this happiness. It's a desire of our heart. This desire is coming from God, of course, but we just forget something. We just forget the reality of our condition. After the original sin, after all our personal sins, what we deserve actually is this, the punishment given for the original sin. This punishment, we say, it's the suffering and the death. This is the first human right we got after the original sin. It means it's important when we marry or when we have a Christian life or when we enter in the convent or we become a priest, not to imagine that we go there for happiness. We go there to give our life. We don't marry to be happy. We marry to sacrifice our life, to build something greater than us, to give our life, to sacrifice. If I take the life of Christ, who is our model, Do you think Christ has come in this world to be happy? No, it was not the goal. He has not said, okay, let me come in this world and have a happy family life with my father and my mother. He has not come for this purpose. He has come to save the world, to give his life. And his own hour was the hour of his sacrifice. And we are Christians. We want to imitate Christ. It means even when we marry or when we enter for a vocation, priest or a religious life, we don't enter for our own sake. We don't enter there to find our own happiness. If we have this mindset, if you say, I have a right to be happy, you prepare your divorce. Because all of us in priesthood or in marriage, we can be unfaithful. When are we unfaithful? We are unfaithful when we think that we have a right to a better life. We have a right to be happy. Or we can dream about something else. You can dream about another spouse. Or you can dream, for a priest, about another state of life. And you become unfaithful in your dreams, in your desire, and maybe even in your actions. If we, since the beginning of our vocation, we start clearly saying, the goal of my life is to give my life. It's not to be happy, like Christ. Christ, he came in this world to give his life. And because he renounced himself, he could actually find a certain happiness in his family life, with his parents, with his mother, with Saint Joseph, with his apostles. He could have this peace, this joy, this excellent family and community life. And Christ was so happy. He was so happy with his mother and with Saint Joseph. In this holy life of Bethlehem, during 30 years, Christ was so happy in a perfect family life. And even when he started truly his vocation, I mean his public life, when he has his community life with these apostles, he was deeply happy in his apostolate. Why? Because he gave his life. He was giving his life for something else. This is our model for us also. We enter in marriage to give our life, not to have the right to be happy, because if we have this mentality, the day we are not happy, we feel we have been cheated, and we feel now we must dream about something else. And now infidelity is coming, because we feel that we have a right to be happy. No. The right we have is to be unhappy forever. The right we have is to be condemned to death and to suffering. And actually we are. All of us, we are condemned to death and suffering. We are. And even if we are not saved by a special mercy of God, we are even condemned to hell. This is the fact. Now salvation is a chance when we take our cross, when we do our duty, when we sacrifice our life to do our duty. Now we access salvation. And when we access salvation, we access peace. We access justice and peace. Justice because we obey the law of God. And now we can be in peace with God because we are just. We are in peace with our neighbors because we are just. We are in peace in ourselves, in our own heart, because we are just. And being in peace, now we can experience happiness. Because happiness is based on order and peace. Because we sacrifice ourselves, we can experience happiness. If we don't want to sacrifice ourselves, and you say, I have a right to be happy, this is selfishness. you think about yourself. I want to be happy. It means this man or this woman has to make me happy. If this man or this woman is not making me happy, why should I stay with this man or this woman? It's logical. We have only two gods in life. Or we have only two ends. God or yourself. Or you are God yourself, and you say, I have the right to be happy, and everything has to contribute to my own happiness. And if someone doesn't contribute to my own happiness, I can change this someone and take another one, because I must be happy. Because this is the goal of my life, is to be happy. Or you say, no, the goal of my life is not to be happy in this world. The goal of my life is to love God above everything, to be the friend of God, to do His will, to be just and saint and holy. And now, because you put that as your goal, you are able to accept maybe what will be difficult in your life, the trials of your life. And now you are able to have a successful marriage because you start to sacrifice your life. Okay, this is for me very important to establish this philosophy of life, this Christian philosophy, we can say, because the world is lying to us. You know, the world is telling us that this world can be a paradise. But I prefer what the Blessed Virgin Mary was telling to Saint Bernadette in Lourdes. She was telling her, I promise you not to be happy in this world, but in the other one. This is a promise that we have received from the Gospel. It's the kingdom of God. And the kingdom of God is not really in this world. Yes, we started in this world. We can be in this inner peace, but the kingdom of God is not from this world. It's in the other world. And this is where we will be happy forever. Now, when we continue this lesson about the duties of marriage life, I wanted to express mainly this duty about giving life. The goal of marriage is to give life. And when you consider the nature around you, you can see this fecundity of God in the nature. How green are the trees? How many are the leaves? How many are each, piece of grass, This abundance of life. God is great. When God is a creator, He creates with abundance, not with limits and restrictions. We are unable to know how many stars we have in the sky. We are unable to know how many leaves we have in this world. There are so many different things. God is creating abundantly. And what is marriage? Marriage is a participation to the fecundity of God. It means the goal of marriage is to give life. The goal of marriage is not to limit life. Okay? The main goal is to have many children as we can receive reasonably from God. It means the model of a family with 2 children is not a Catholic model. We cannot say it's not Catholic. The Catholic family is a large family. And this large family is a blessing of God. Even you can look in the Old Testament, in these families we know, they were blessed by many children. Remember the patriarchs, remember Jacob, remember this model of family given in the Old Testament. This is what is procreation. Procreation has really a mission to fill the earth. Of course, the modern world is trying to fight that. Why? Because if you have many children, you have to sacrifice for them. You have to share the money between each. You have to sacrifice your money to pay school fees, to pay food, to pay so many things. And if you have many children, you will not have this very, very wealthy life where you have so much money you can enjoy. Actually, when you are a single man, you have your job, you have your salary, all your money is just for you. And you share it with nobody. And you pay no school fees, but you don't give your life. When you choose to marry, you choose to give your life and to give your money, to share this money. And the more you have children, yes, the more you will have to share this money. And it's excellent for us, because this is fighting what is the most dangerous for us. This is selfishness. We are not living for us. And even for our salvation, it's really better to be trained to this generosity, giving life. And actually, you can see how marriage is done. God has given so many good things in marriage, so many attractive things. The love, the pleasure He is giving into the marriage, all these gifts of God are given to incite people to marry, because it's very important for the continuation and of the humanity, for the families. God is inciting people to have many children in a natural way, giving this pleasure of love and marriage. This is the plan of God. It's very bad to cheat God. And some people, they are cheating God because they want to take the salary, but they don't want to do the job. They want to take the pleasure, they want to take the love, they want to enjoy the gift of God, but they don't want the natural consequence of it. The natural consequence of it are children, of course. You have a call of your feeling, you have the call of this inner instinct. The end of this call is a family life. The end of this call are children. And now people and the modern world has organized to destroy the link between the marriage, between this union, and between procreation. And the modern world is telling you, you have the right to enjoy, you have the right to be happy in your sexuality, in your marriage life, in your love, but now we are going to give you the way not to get children. And now we are trying to cheat God, to take the salary, but not to do the job. It's exactly if you have someone who is working for you, a gardener, and you agree, okay, I will pay you 500 per day, but please do this work in my garden. And now this man is sleeping the whole of the day under a tree, and he wants to be paid at night. Of course, it's not possible. It's not working like that. If you want it's exactly the plan of God. The plan of God is to give you this happiness, this salary, this joy, against a job. And this job is procreation and education of children. And you know, the whole of the humanity is singing about love and sexuality. You can see, you watch like TV, you watch advertisement, you watch everything on internet. They play so much on these desires. These desires are very strong. We know they are very strong. They are very deep passions in us. Because we have a very important duty to do, and because this duty is difficult, family life is difficult, to raise so many children is difficult. To work hard for these children to pay school fees is difficult. To live together sometimes is difficult. And because God is giving great love and pleasure and happiness. Let us not cheat God. Let us be honest. Contraception is a way to cheat God. It's a way to say, let me take the pleasure, but not accept the consequence of the pleasure. This is the argumentation. And I think if you understand that, you understand why contraception is evil. And you are able to explain to your friends, to explain to your children, why we cannot use contraception. Because it's really, we are really trying to cheat God on something that is very important. Because through the parenthood, we share the fatherhood and the motherhood of God. We share the creation of God. We share His power. It's even something sacred, you know. Procreation is a part of the power of God to create. You help God creating new souls, a new body, a new human being. It's a very, very important duty and mission. It's not something you can cheat, because we are playing with life. We are playing with eternal souls. And also, I want you also to understand abortion. Abortion is exactly the same mentality than contraception. You want pleasure. You want to enjoy something, but you don't want this child to come. And you are ready to kill this child. You are ready to kill this child. This is abortion. You say, let me enjoy the gift of God, and let me kill the consequence of the gift. Let me kill this baby, because I don't want this baby is going to disturb me. I don't want to pay for this baby. I don't want to suffer for this baby. I don't want to change my life for this baby. Maybe you can see, okay, even a teenager, you know, has done a sin. She is pregnant. She has done a sin. And she said, now if I keep this child, I will not study. I was willing to become a lawyer and to study so much. And now I have a child, and my life is destroyed because of this child. And it's not this child who has destroyed your life. Maybe it's your sin first, not the child. You have done a big mistake. You have destroyed your life. And now you want to do a second mistake, that is to kill your child, your baby. This is the fact. And you know, for nobody, and so many people have committed abortion, even in Kenya. It's not allowed, but so many people are committing abortions. It's horrible to live your whole life. Every time you see a child, you think about your own child. Or he will be this age, he will be this age, and I have killed this baby. Because actually it's what is the reality. It's an awful reality. But you have to understand it's exactly the same mentality than contraception. I want to enjoy. I have the right to be happy. And I am even ready to kill to be happy, not to be disturbed in my life. And contraception is the same mentality. You use contraception, you say, let me use of marriage, let me enjoy marriage, let me enjoy the pleasure, but not have the child. Okay, selfishness. The day this contraception fails, because contraception is failing, No, contraception is not 100%. You can take the contraception you want. It's not 100%. The day with this contraception is failing, you are ready to abort. Because you have already the mentality. Pleasure, but not responsibility. And now, the consequence of that is, okay, my contraception has failed. And now I cannot receive this child. What should I do? You have to change of mentality and to say, okay, let me be happy and receive this child. You have to change of mentality. But some people, they will not change mentality and they will kill this child. To tell you that people, for some people, okay, they understand abortion is evil. But they don't understand exactly about contraception. For them, it's just something you can accept because everybody does it. Because you just go in this clinic and you get your injection for 1 month and now you continue. And everybody does it. I think it's the main business of this clinic is to give injection for contraception. And because everybody does it, you think, oh, it's okay, it's normal. But it's not. It's not normal. It's a very serious sin. And let me tell you, most of these contraceptions, they are also abortive. They are also abortive. Because many pills, or even when you use a coil or this kind of things, it's not contraception, it's abortion. Mainly the coil. People say, oh, I can use a coil, it's secure. It's a secure way to kill this cell that this cell cannot now develop. It's not contraception, it's abortion. And even the pills, most of the pills, they have a second effect. If contraception has failed, it has a second effect to kill this cell that has developed now, and to make sure the cell stop this development. And many people, they think they are using contraception when they are actually using abortion. And that is very serious, you know. Abortion is one of the few sins that we have a penalty of excommunication. If you provide abortion, if you do abortion yourself, if you advise someone to go for abortion, if you are a doctor or a nurse and you help for abortion, you are excommunicated from the church. It means you cannot confess, you cannot receive sacraments, you cannot be buried in church. You first have to remove this excommunication. And if the church has done that, it's because it's to show people how serious is this sin. Of course, to get an excommunication, you need to provide for abortion and to be sure that you have killed really a baby. That's why for contraception, we never know what has happened. Okay? We never know. It means we don't know what has happened. But we understand how serious it is. You know, the church has put this penalty of excommunication to understand how serious it is. I think now you really understand. Nobody, no Christian, no family is allowed to use this contraception. It's not possible. We cannot accept that. You understand the mentality. And I think you are even able now to explain. And it's not easy. Many Catholics, they cannot explain why contraception is bad. I think now you are able to explain, to explain why it's not possible to accept contraception at all. and of course abortion. Let me just about abortion or even contraception introduce another concept. Is what we call direct abortion or indirect abortion. We can never do a direct abortion. We can never do that. Sometimes abortion can happen as a consequence of something else, a consequence you don't want. You don't look for this consequence, but this consequence is happening. I imagine you are a woman, you are pregnant, you are a mother of family, many children, and you have a cancer. And the doctor is telling you, now we have to treat your cancer because we have to help you. But maybe, it's not sure, but maybe this treatment will affect the life of your baby. Can you go for this treatment? Actually, now we are not speaking about a direct abortion. We are speaking about a consequence you don't want but could happen. And now you say, okay, I am a mother, I have 6 children, I am pregnant, I have a cancer. And the doctor has told me to save my life, I need to go for this treatment. But this treatment could affect the life of my baby. And maybe my baby will die of this treatment. What should I do? This is a big question. In Italy, we had this case, a woman, she was a doctor. She was very pro-life. She had 4 children. And she was in this situation, and she knew, if I take this treatment, my baby will die. If I don't take it, I am in risk of dying. I will die probably, but my baby will be saved and will live. This woman, she has made the choice to say, let me save my baby. My husband will take care of my children. I will die, but I want this baby to live. She's now a blessed in the church. She has been beatified. She has given her life. It was an option she could make, and she made. It was a heroic option. She died, and her baby lived, and now she's a saint in the Catholic Church. But you understand that you can also make the other choice. It's also allowed to accept the treatment because you say, I have a duty, I am a parent, I have to raise these children, I have to live for that. Maybe my child is in risk to be affected. That is what we call now indirect. You don't want to kill this baby. You don't want to affect this baby. But it's not a crime because your intention is not to kill. Your intention is not to destroy this life. Your intention is just to save your life. And it's not because you save your life that you are going to kill this child. No, it's 2 different things. And this case, now we have a moral case, and it can that can be done. It's not against the moral to take a medicine, even if medicine can have a bad effect. Okay. Okay, we can now end this catechism by a prayer.